Hi everyone, I haven't done one of these in a while, my true crime coverage of all the tragedies that have been happening all over the country. Don't mind my shaky hand here holding my camera, but there's quite a lot. There's like 45 of people that died unnecessarily. Very sad stuff going on in the world, in America. The first incident I'm going to start off with happened on Sunday, October 5th, in Akron, Ohio, in the Highland Square area. There was a shooting which caught a 25-year-old man in the crossfire. His name was Timothy Hutchinson of Worcester, and the suspect is still at large. In DeKalb County, Georgia, there was a double homicide of a woman who was found dead in the East Perimeter Point Apartments. There were two people, and it was a man and a woman, both found deceased in this apartment complex. And it happened, I believe, it happened on October 5th or the 6th. And they caught the suspect by the name of Stephen Mathis. In North Austin, Texas, there was a woman's body found behind an auto repair shop in the back. I believe that she wasn't in a car. She was found in the field. And they don't know how it happened. They think she might be homeless. In the Bronx, New York, Samir Palacios was a 35-year-old man who was shot and killed on October 3rd. That was Saturday, near the Boston Road area. There's nobody that was arrested yet. On the weekend, on Saturday, I think, no, it was on Saturday night. Saturday night. It was, there was a mass shooting in Montgomery, Alabama. It was Saturday. It was a 17-year-old boy named Jeremiah Morris and a 43-year-old woman named Shalonda Williams that were shot. There were 12 other injured, brought to the hospital. And they don't know who did it. I don't think they apprehended the person. In Williston, Florida, on Sunday, December 5th, a plane originating out of Kentucky crashed in a peanut field in Williston, Florida. All three people didn't make it. In Fort Greene, Brooklyn, a woman was hit by an e-bike. She was walking and she was hit. She was a 60-year-old woman and she died. There's a lot of these accidents going on with e-bikes, so you have to be careful. When they're riding, just make sure you're being very aware about your surroundings now with all these e-bikes. In Pinellas Park, Florida, there was a man killed in an officer-involved shooting. I'm not sure what date this was. It was this week. And the man was called to an apartment where he was barricaded in the Pinellas Park apartment complex. I don't know what was going on, if it was someone that they were trying to get out of the apartment, or there was some other issue or domestic violence situation. I'm not sure what happened. In Staten Island, New York, a man shot and killed. He actually stabbed his stepfather. He was the 19-year-old stabbed his 45-year-old stepfather. He basically decapitated, and he was found deceased in the bathtub by the 16-year-old sister. That was very disgusting. In Indianapolis, over this past weekend, in a 16-hour span, late September, early in October, there were several different incidents of shootings where 5 people were left dead. In Valdosta, Georgia, a 2-year-old boy was mauled to death by Rottweilers at his daycare. They weren't watching the little boy, and he wandered out, and he was not being watched. I don't understand why this happened. And I believe it was an unlicensed daycare, and the little boy did not survive. I believe he let the dogs out. No one was watching him, and he did not survive the attack. In Nashville, Tennessee, a skydiver instructor by the name of Justin Robert Fuller of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 35 years old, was a skydiving instructor doing a tandem jump with somebody that he was teaching, and they got separated, and he did not have his parachute, and he was found deceased after falling from the sky. In Wheat Ridge, California, Connie Chavez died on Friday, October 3rd, 2025. A suspicious death. I don't know what there was just said there was a woman that was found deceased. I don't know what the circumstances were of that. What this one is in Phoenix, Arizona, a 6-year-old girl died at 8 p.m. on I-10 and 67th Avenue from a drunk driver. They hit the car, and her 2-year-old sibling has a brain bleed, and I believe the parents were in the car. I think they survived, but the person that did this fled the scene, but they were tracked down and arrested. So that's sad. A little 6-year-old girl, very sad. In Washington, D.C., in the Southeast District of Washington, a 20-year-old woman was killed by a hit-and-run driver, and the SUV hit her steps away from her apartment on October 4th, 2025. She was, I believe, getting off a bus coming home from work. A man died on I-4 in Sanford, Florida. He was a 90-year-old man who flipped his car over, and it collided with an SUV. He died in that accident. There was a body found in a car in Atlanta, Georgia, Brookhaven MARTA train station on Tuesday afternoon on October 7th, 2025, an unknown gender and age of the person. And October 3rd, a toddler in Brownsville, Brooklyn, died after being beaten to death by his parents. We don't know. There was a problem in the apartment. I believe there was Child Protective Service involvement. It's really, I don't know the age of the child, but it's very sad that this child died in an apartment. Like, where were people in the apartment? Weren't they hearing the baby getting hurt and the cries? This is getting to be too much with these babies dying. There was a driver killed in where was it? After hitting a deer on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and he flipped his car because when he hit, his name was Ronald Nepman, I believe. He was 58, of Montgomery County. It was on Monday night. It was on Montgomery County where it happened. The deer supposedly ripped the roof off the car, and I think that's what happened. He sort of hit the roof and he flipped over, and he couldn't survive that kind of an injury. On October 6th, a minivan fatally struck a pedestrian in East Orange. The man and his 3-year-old son were crossing the street. The father, who was 26, died, and the 3-year-old is in critical condition. It's very upsetting. People, you have to watch when you're crossing the street. These people are driving terribly. In Livingston, New Jersey, a woman's body was found on Tuesday, October 7th, near the roadway of Cedar Hill Golf Course on Walnut, off of Route I-10 in Essex County, New Jersey. So that was one woman. They don't know what happened. It's still under investigation. In Brooklyn, New York, a man died on Tuesday, October 7th, at the J Street station after being beaten to death. The suspect was in custody. He died of a head trauma due to a skull fracture. In Stockton, California, a missing woman was found dead in the attic of her home. The family was reporting her missing, and fortunately they found that her phone was pinging, and they found her at an apartment in an attic. And we don't know what happened. So that was actually, they found the man who did it. His name was 41-year-old Douglas Shaw. He was arrested for her unaliving. I don't know how they found out he did it, but they were able to find out what happened. On I-170, 4 were killed in a wrong-way crash in Missouri. I believe it was in the St. Louis area, in a 4-vehicle crash caused by an 88-year-old man on October 6, 2025. A 60-year-old man, a 65-year-old woman, and a 69-year-old woman were deceased or died due to the accident. In Southgate, Michigan, there was a stabbing at a Kroger on this was yesterday at 3 p.m. A 23-year-old man died. The employee stabbed him after they had an argument. In Montclair, California, there was a deadly crash on Tuesday, on the 7th. 1 man died after a road rage incident. A 12-year-old girl was killed by riding her bike home, and she was struck and killed by a Clark County School District school bus. The girl's name was Haley Ryan, and the bus driver wasn't careful. This is one of the reasons why I never would let my daughter ride a bike to school or walk. I was like the helicopter mom, so I don't believe in letting kids do that if things are going to be bad with people not paying attention now these days in their driving. In Waterbury, Connecticut, 2 people were found shot in a home on Beverly Avenue, and the suspect was ID'd. He was a man from Watertown, Connecticut. In Enfield, Connecticut, a woman died after an SUV crashed into her. After then the SUV rammed into the liquor store. That happened on October 4th, 2025 on Hazard Avenue. The last incident was in Houston, Texas. It was a terrible shooting spree that happened today where a man started out in the Sugarland section. He shot the woman in her car. Then he went to the second scene in Houston where he shot a man at his mechanic shop. Another man came out and tried to film the incident, and he shot him. Then he fled the scene, and then he went and unalived himself at another location. So that's 45 people that died this week or this past week. It's just unbelievable. Take care.